This class is not math. Let me get the recorder on here. The name of this course is not math. The name of this course is Math Made Fun and Easy. And math is fun and easy. And we can't leave today until you admit that math is fun and easy. So maybe you brought your sleeping bag. Might be here a while. But anyway, don't let math intimidate you. Don't let math intimidate you. Let's keep going here, guys. Now, number 8, the answer, of course, is C. Again, it's the outside of the lot. There's only on 2 sides. It's not on 4 sides because it's a corner lot. We did number 9, number 10. 8,600 is equal to 8% of the price paid for a house. What was the price paid?
Did I say 86 or 96? Sorry. Mine says
9,600. Is that what I said or not?
I just want to make sure I have the right number.
Oh, it's number 10. Number 10. 9,600 is equal to 8% of the price paid for a house. What was the price paid? Custom made for the circle. Custom made for the circle. We want to know what happened. What happened first? We bought the house. We don't know what that is, but we know it's 100%. Then they gave us a figure, 9,600, which is 8% of what we paid for the house. Top to bottom you divide. 9,600 divided by 8% and 120,000. 120,000. Let's go to number 11. Number 11. A home buyer wants to borrow $100,000. The lender quotes him a loan origination fee of 1 point and loan discount of 1 point. A point is 1% of the loan amount, not 1% of the sales price. It's a 1% of the cost of money. And there are 2 types of points. One is the loan origination fee. That's what the lender charges to make the loan happen, the loan origination fee. The other point is a discount point. And a discount point drops the interest rate. There are 2 types of points. A discount point, which drops the interest rate, and a loan origination fee, which is what the lender charges to do the loan. And they both cost exactly the same, 1% of the loan amount. 1% of the loan amount. Any questions on that? We're going to talk about this many times. You guys have got to know what points are. And you will.
So
You
wouldn't it be
will.
a wash then?
Pardon me?
Wouldn't it be a wash?
A wash.
So you're charging 1 and discounting 1, so 1
No,
minus 1 is 0.
no. We're discounting the interest rate. One has to do with how much the lender is charging to do the loan. The other one drops the interest rate. 2 completely different functions. They don't cancel each other out at all. So let's take a look at this. First of all, try to do this yourself. What is the loan going to be where after you subtract 2%, you end up at 100,000? Try it and see if you can figure it out yourself.
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
After you subtract 2%, get a loan amount, subtract 2% from it, and end up at 100,000. That's what they're asking here. The lender quotes a loan origination fee of 1 point and loan discount of 1 point. What size loan must be obtained to pay the 2 points and still leave $100,000? Play with it for a minute, then we'll do it together. What's that?
102,000?
102,000? Whatever you think it is, subtract 2% from it. If it comes out to exactly 100,000, you got the right answer.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this one together. First of all, my circles are getting uglier. I don't care. Keep going. So we're going to borrow what? $100,000. Now, we're going to what? We want to know, first of all, we have to know what we started with. We don't know what we started with. but we know we started with 100% of what we need. What is this figure up here? This figure up on top is the money we needed, $100,000. It's also our 100% after we subtract 2%. So what does it mean? It means that this figure up here is 98% of the figure we're looking for. 98% of the figure we're looking for. So we have 100,000 divided by 98%. It'll be what? 102,041. $102,041. And again, this is one of the toughest ones of the whole day. And analyzing points and how to figure out these loans is tricky. It's tricky. And some brokers say, I don't need to know anything about financing, I'll just turn over to my lender. Bull. You've got to know financing, guys. For your own good and your people's good. I wouldn't want to work with you if you didn't know financing. As good as any lender out there. So again, and hopefully when you leave this course, you will know lending really well. You'll know the language of lending as well as anybody in this business. We spend a lot of time on it. So, let's go to, we did number 12. How about number 13? A seller wishes to net $845,950 for the sale of her property. If her broker is to receive a fee of 4% of the selling price and an allowance of $50 for expenses, what must the selling price be? Now, on the state exam, it's not going to be this easy. What we do is find out what she needs to net and add all of her expenses to that. Here we have just lousy $50, that's nothing. On the state exam, they might have $500 for painting, $5,000 for a roof, $2,000 for landscaping, whatever. Wherever they have, we add those expenses to it. So, we take what she needs to net, which is $845,950 plus 50 comes to what?
Well, mine says 50%, should that be a dollar sign?
It should be a dollar sign, guys, yeah. Should be a dollar sign. So, get the old circle going. You almost can't do this one without the circle. So we have $845,950 plus 50, $846,000 is what she needs to net, doesn't she?
Or, oh yeah.
How much does she have to sell it for? That's what we're looking for. We don't know what she has to sell it for, but we know she has to sell it for 100% of what she needs, doesn't she? So this lower left side is our 100% figure. This up here is this 100% figure after she pays a 4% real estate commission. So this figure, top to bottom divide, is 96% of the figure we're looking for. 96% of the figure we're looking for. 846,000 divided by 96%. And the answer, of course, comes out to D-Dog. D-Dog, guys. Now, again, you're probably going to have one of these on the state exam. Add all those expenses to it to get a new net, and just reason it through with that circle, and you won't have an issue with it.
I have a question. How come it doesn't work where you add 845,950 with the 50 for 846, and then multiply that by 4%?
Okay, why don't we do this? Let me answer it this way. Let's say we have this. Remember that one that we had where, let's go back to that one. On number 11, where we had 100,000. Why can't we just add 2,000 to that 100,000, subtract 2,000, and end up back at 100? Because we're not working with pure numbers. We're working with percentages and decimals. And what happens, it's like this. 100 minus 20% is how much?
8.
80. So that means 80 plus 20% equals 100. Does it?
No.
Try and see. 80 plus 20% is 96. Why? Because here we're working with 20% of 100, here we're working with 20% of 80. We've got to get the correct integers in the right order, or we're not going to come up with the right answer. Now let's do this in the circle, what I just did here. We have the circle. And what happens is we started off with what? We started off with what we started off with 100, didn't we? What happened first in time is 100. What happened second in time? We subtracted 20% and came up with 80. How do we get from 80 back to 100? Isn't that what they're asking us? Isn't that what we're trying to find out here? How did we get back from this 80 and get back to this 100 here? What is this 80? Isn't it this figure down here, which is our 100% figure, minus 20%? Let's do that. Let's look at this again. This allows the percent here. Okay. Anyway, this isn't a percent, actually. But anyway, so 100 minus 20% is 80, right? Now, what is 80? 80 is 100 minus 20%. So, 80 divided by 80. Does that get us back to 100? Try and see. Is that cool? Just understanding and keeping your focus on the different integers and the percentages and what you're looking for, guys, will guide you through equations like this one. And this one on 13 is a tough one. The answer, of course, on that one is D-dog. Let's go to number 16. Same question, only different. 16. A seller nets $88,200 after a commission of 7% and closing costs of $500 have been paid. What was the selling price? Play with that for a minute, see if you can figure it out. Remember, you're going to add those expenses to her net, or his net, whatever. Okay, there's a circle up there on the board. 83,200 plus 500, 83,700, and what is that? That's what she has to net. We don't know how much she has to net, but we know she has to net 100% of what she needs. That figure up on top is that 100% figure minus a 7% commission, or 93% of what she needs. Yeah, so top to bottom we divide 83,700 divided by 93%, and the answer comes out to B, boy, 90,000. Okay. Now, 90% of everybody on Earth lives within 50 miles of this.
McDonald's.
McDonald's, probably so, yeah. What do you think? Where you were born?
Hospital.
I bet you it's not that way in Denver. Who's with us within 50 miles of where they were born? I am. And who else? 3 or 4 of us, it's hardly 90%. We're pretty transitory people here in Denver, to say the least. Okay, guys, let's go to, let's see, we did 14. How about 15? Number 15. Jay has a 2-acre tract of land that she is dividing into lots. She plans to make each lot 80 feet by 190 feet in depth. If she provides a street 20 feet wide by 210 feet in depth, how many full lots will Jay be able to market? What's the first thing we have to do on this one?
Convert the acre to feet.
Figure out how much we have to work with, all right? How do we do that?
Is an acre tract any different than
An acre tract, the same thing, yep.
an acre?
So,
Big's a lot.
a 2-acre tract, so 43,560
Times 2.
times 2, which comes to,
80 cents, 120.
one more time, 87,
120.
87,120. Everybody happy with that? And then we have what? We have a center street that's 20 by 210. We have to subtract that out. 20 feet by 210 feet, and that comes out to what?
4,200.
4,200. So we subtract 4,200 from this. We're trying to find out how much land we have to build on, aren't we? And that comes out to 82,920. Everybody following this? So that's how much land we have to develop. Now let's figure out how big the lots are. The lots are 190 by 60. Which comes out to
11,400. All 11,400.
11,400. So 82,920 divided by 11,400. How many lots?
7.27.
7.27. Do we round that up or down?
Down.
Down. 7 lots with that size with a little left over is what that means. Okay, let's go.
He didn't do any setbacks in his subdivision.
In,
He could be in trouble.
Could be, could be. Okay. Let's go to number 28. 28. How many 60 by 100 foot lots can be developed out of 8.5 acres if 58,260 square feet are to be reserved for open space and streets? Why don't you guys play with that for a few minutes here? Number 52.
The 4 old ladies going 35 in the 60s, easiest.
Yep, I agree. And guys, just slow and easy through this. Some of these take a long time to get through. There's no, time is not an issue on that state exam, guys. You should have plenty of time, so take your time. Okay, there it is. 43,560 times 8.5, 370,260, minus 58,260. We have 312,000 square feet to work with. Our lots are 6,000 square feet, 312,000 divided by 6,000, 52 lots, 52 lots. Who were the first adult couple to ever be shown in bed together on primetime TV?
Condos.
The what?
Was it the Flintstones?
It was the Flintstones, actually, yeah. Well, I know you weren't there to see it. No, how'd you know that? Just
No.
move it up. Anyway,
Trivia.
okay, let's keep going here, guys. How about number 16 we did, 17 we did, or did we do? Let's go to number 18. If a property sold for $525,000 and an owner made a 50% profit, what did he pay for it? You're on your own. See if you can figure it out.
Joe, when it's
You get it? Yeah, lay it on me when you get it.
262.5.
262.5. Okay. Who else? Don't trust anybody. Get your own. What's that? 350. Let's get the old circle going, guys. The property sold for $525,000 after you made an over 50% profit. What happened first in time? He bought the property. We don't know what he paid for it, but we know he paid 100%, don't we? And we know that he sold it for $525,000, which represented a 50% profit. So what is this figure here? Isn't that what he paid for it plus 50% profit? So this figure is 150% of what we're looking for. Everybody see that? Top to bottom you divide. 525,000 divided by 150% or 1.5. Either one. And you get it 350,000. 350,000.
So you,
What's that? Now, how do you know that's right? You could have taken every one of those answers and added 50% to it. And see which one comes out to 525,000. That's how you get check it to make sure you get the right one. Try it. Take every one of those answers and add 50% to them. And the only answer that works, of course, is B-boy.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it, are we only adding getting the 150% because there's a profit there, not taking away? Is that why it became 150?
Let's do this. Let's do this. He sold for 525,000. That represented a 20% loss. What do you pay for it? See if you can figure that out. That's a 20% loss.
So why isn't it just 20% more than that number?
Because you have to change your integers. You have to change your percentages. Move your decimals. Try it and see
So
if it comes out. See if that comes out. Add 20% to that and then subtract 20%, see if you came back at 525. Is what you're talking about. Right, Mark?
Yeah.
Hey guys, you've got your name tents too, guys, in your big white book. And do it in big marker if you will, Mark. Thank you.
So with the answer, moving the decimal, or taking out the 0, would that be subtracted from 525,000, and that would be the amount that,
Taking out the 0.
or, sorry, well,
Okay, let's do this, guys. So what are we looking at now? What is this 525? Pass it back to some other people. So what is this? Now, this figure here is, we don't know what he paid for it, but we know he paid 100%. And this is what he sold it for after he lost 20%. So what is this figure? 100% minus 20%, or 80%. What did he pay for it? 525,000 divided by 80%.
420.
656,000.
656 and change, right?
I thought that was the wrong percentage.
No, really, and guys, just think it through. We're gonna have so many of these, you should have these down really well. A big smile when you see one of these on the exam.
Because he lost 20%. So if he gained 50%, then he had, if he lost it, he subtract 20.
Okay.
Oh, we're doing
He
it
was just
separately.
doing
Oh,
it.
okay, I'm like, yeah.
Oh, I just made that one up, just made that one up. Okay, guys, now,
So anytime you have less than 100%, you're dividing the percentage versus anytime you have more than 100% or an increase, you're multiplying the percentage.
no, no, either way, you're always dividing this by this, or this by this. Left to right, you multiply. Okay, to get your circle set up right. Yeah,
What makes you add from that 100 instead of, okay, so if they lose money,
Mhm.
subtract it.
we don't know what he paid for it, but we know he paid 100%, right? And we don't know, we know that he sold it for 525,000. We don't know what he lost, but we do know he lost. How much did he lose? Well, he lost 20% of the deal. And so what is that figure? What he paid for it minus 20%, 100% minus 20%. And we'll have some more like that today, guys. And we'll, as you're going through the course, we'll have some more too. It's a rare day where we don't hit a math question or two. And so don't spend time on math. There's too much else to study, okay? Today is about all the math you're going to need, okay? So let your brains heal overnight, you're going to be fine. Come in tomorrow, new people, you'll be in great shape. Now, go home today and show your kids this. I think for the first time in years, some of your kids might think you have a brain. Hold out your fingers like this. Hold out your fingers like this, guys. And start counting from the little finger on your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then your thumb is 6 on your left hand. 7, 8, 9, 10. And what we're going to do, we're going to multiply by 9s. Let's go 2 times 9, 1, 2. Drop that finger down. On the right side are your 10s, on the left side are your singles. What is 2 times 9? 10 plus 8, 18. 18. What's 4 times 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 36.
Whoa, bro.
How about 6 times 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 54. 54. So is math fun and easy yet? Heading that way, maybe? Or will it never be fun and easy? Guys, math is fascinating. Now, let's go to number 19. We're going to be talking about something called leverage. Leverage. Leverage is OPM, other people's money. OPM, other people's money. The more of other people's money we're using, the more highly leveraged we are. It could be a bank, could be a credit union, could be a private lender, but if we're using other people's money, we're using leverage. Leverage. Number 19, which of the following transactions involves the highest leverage? Another term for leverage is LTV, loan to value. Loan to value and leverage are the same thing. Loan to value and leverage are the same thing. And it says, which of the following transactions involves the highest leverage? We have a sales price of $107,750 and a $97,750 loan. We take the loan and divide it by the sales price. Not the other way around. You take the loan divided by the sales price. What'd you get?
91-ish?
90, if you've got the decimal, 90.7, something like that.
So that's your loan to value.
That's the loan to value, that's the leverage of other people's money that you're using on that deal. How about B-Boy? 95,500, we have two loans. One of 65,500 and 22,500. We add those two loans together and divide it by the sales price. Okay, what'd you get? 92 and maybe some change there, 92.15 to be exact. Then we've got the next one, there's three loans. We have 108,500 sales price. We have the first loan, 63,373, second loan, 28,500, and a purchase money mortgage of 10,000. We add all those three together and divide it by the sales price. $93 and some change, maybe 0.89 thereabouts.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
When it's asking for the highest leverage, it's asking for which of these has the highest loan to value or LTV?
Perfect. Say that again. Couldn't have said it better myself. Say it again.
So when it's asking for the highest leverage, it's asking which loan to value or LTV is the highest.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing.
So wouldn't that be C in this case, since B is cash?
What is, how about
There's
D?
no loan.
144,500, it's all cash. That's no leverage at all, right? And of course, the answer is C. The answer is C. That's the one that's more highly leveraged. And the more highly leveraged you are, the greater is your return on your investment. I have let's do one of these guys. I have, let's say I buy this property for $100,000. And I put down $10,000 on it. I buy another property for $100,000 and I pay cash for it. I pay $100,000 cash for it. Well, next year, these two properties both go up 10%. How much of my money have I made here? I've doubled my money, right? I put down $10,000, it went up 10%, it went up $10,000. I've used other people's money to make money. Look on the right side.
So it's 100% return versus a 10% return.
Versus a 10% return. I gave 100,000 here, I get a 100% return here, a 10% return here. Everybody see that? So that's the power of using other people's money. I use other people's money to make money.
ROI.
The what?
ROI.
ROI, return on investment. What's that also called? Cap rate, capitalization rates.
That's how the cap rate's calculated? I always
Oh,
wondered.
there's a lot more to it than cap rates, than this to get a cap rate, yeah. Let's go to number 34. Number 34. Which of the following transactions is the most highly leveraged? You're on your own. Lay it on me, we get the answer.
Is it B?
I heard B. Who else? B also? We need your marker here. You don't want to poke your eye out. Who needs a sheet of paper for a name tent? We got some up here if you need some.
Just check my answer. What's that?
It's all about loan value.
Okay, who's totally lost? Who's lying? Everybody's there? Okay. Let's do these, guys. Number 34, which fund is the most highly leveraged? A, all cash, that's zero leverage. Thank you. That's zero leverage.
Quick question, would that also be expressed as 100% risk?
It's 100% risk, exactly, yeah,
Okay.
because you got 100% of your own money in it. The lender who's making the risk is getting paid for making that risk, isn't he? So. Then we have the purchase price, $144,000, and he borrowed $130,000, that's 90.28. See, they gave it to us, they gave us the answer, it's 80%. And then B dog, the answer is 76.15, so the answer, of course, is B boy on this one. And that's how leverage works. Okay, let's go to number 20. Number 20. Now, before we do, guys, back in the 1800s, it was actually in Europe. And what happened is a bunch of guys got together and invented this game in Scotland, and they called it Gentlemen Only, Ladies Forbidden.
Eh,
True story.
is that really true?
It's really true, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it really is, yeah.
So why didn't they change the name for women's golf?
Why did they change it?
Girls
It
only,
took
lads forbidden.
hundreds of years, but anyway.
Lads, forget it.
Okay, guys, number 20. I like number 20. That's one of the best ones of the day. What this guy is doing is he's taking the money out of the house he's in right now and he's using that money to buy another house. How do you do that? Let's look at number 20. Let's read this. A is buying a new home before the sale of his old home closes. He has secured a swing loan of 70%. That could be called a bridge loan, a gap loan, of his equity in the old home, which is worth $118,500. His current loan is $61,000. The new home will cost $196,000, and he's obtaining an 80% loan. What will his out-of-pocket costs be to close his new home if his closing costs are $13,700? The first thing we have to do is figure out how much equity he has to work with. How do we do that? What's his house worth? What's worth, what, $118,500? Yeah, and he owes $61,000? Everybody following that? So how much equity does he have? You got that, Monica? $57,500 is what he has to work with. And he can borrow 70% of that amount. 70%. $40,250. Then now let's look at the new home. The new home's going to be going for $196,000. and he needs 20% to make this happen. It's an 80% loan, right? So we know it's he needs 20% of that to make this happen. What's that come to?
39.2.
$39,200. So he's in pretty good shape. But then he also has $13,700 in closing costs. We add those.
14,750.
How much that?
14,750.
Well, let's not jump way ahead.
Oh, sorry.
So adding those two together gives us $52,900 is what he needs to make this deal happen, right, guys? $52,900. He only has $40,000, right? So we take $52,900, $52,900 minus $40,250. I like this one. It's a long sucker. But if you just reason your way through this, it's a very clever question, and it's something that you may be dealing with sometime yourself. The answer, of course, is D-Dog. And your people may be dealing with this. Your people may be dealing with this, where they have equity in their house they're using to buy another property. Now, let's go to number 21. Did we do 21?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. How about 22? This is an appraisal equation. Whenever you have someone who's not an appraiser, who figures out any type of question, especially math, there's inevitably, there's a mistake, inevitably. What this says is an annual, and the state exam, you're going to have between 8 and 13 questions that are just wrong. Some of them are going to be really wrong, some just a little bit wrong. But you're going to have about 13 questions that are wrong, and I'm going to try to point them all out to you. And this is one of them. It's almost identical on the state exam to this, number 22. An annual gross rent multiplier. First of all, an annual multiplier is not a rent multiplier, it's an income multiplier. But that's okay. We'll humor them. An annual gross rent multiplier of 7.2 is used to obtain a value of $296,640 on a property. What was its gross annual income? Guys, if you see one of these, they're so simple. Don't let them get you. You take the value divided by the multiplier. And that multiplier is not a percentage, it's just a multiplier. So 296,640 divided by 7.2. And you're going to have one of those on the exam. Don't miss it. Don't let it freak you. Now I'm going to have several of those on the finals for you also. Yeah, so the answer, of course, on 22 is C. 23. If properties are assessed at 35% of market value, what is the assessed value of a property that has 2,200 square feet and is valued at $46 per square foot, and a lot is valued at $32,000? Let's do that one together here. They're assessed at 35% of market value. And this market value, who is the one that determines market value? Who determines market value? The appraisers. And what determines market value? The market. You're going to have one or both those questions on the state exam. They're easy, don't miss them. Who determines market value? The appraiser. What determines market value? The market. So what they're saying here, the properties are assessed at 35% of market value. What is the assessed value of a property that has 2,200 square feet at $46 a square foot? So 2,200 times 46, what's that come to?
101,200.
101,200. Everybody happy with that? I'm trusting you. And then $32,000 for the lot, right? What do we have now?
133.2.
133,200? And then 133,200 times 35% gives you 46,620. Let's walk through this. This is how you figure out what your taxes are on your properties. And you get this assessment typically in February or March of an assessment year. A lot of times we get it every year. But many times only on an assessment year. Is 2018 now, 2019 is definitely going to be an assessment year. And you're going to get this thing in the mail and it's going to say this is not a bill. And what it's going to have is they're going to have this figure right here, which is the market value or the market price. If it's sold in the last year, they're going to say this is the market price of your home. If it hasn't sold recently, then they will do an appraisal on it and come up with the market value. And then what they do is they have an assessment ratio of 35%. So you take that market price or market value times it by the ratio of 35%, and that gives you your assessed value. Let's run through it again. What is that called?
Market value.
Market value or market price. What is that?
Assess rate.
The assessment ratio. What is this? The assessed value. The assessed value. And we take that assessed value and we multiply it by a mill levy. A mill levy. See how good you are? You don't even know how good you are. A mill levy. And how many mills in 1%? 10 mills in 1%, guys. They say, well, 1/1000th. No. 10 mills in 1%. Very, very easy. 10 mills in 1%. So they take this figure, this is the answer to this problem anyway, this equation. But let's say that they said it was being taxed at 30 mills. What would we multiply that by?
3%.
3%. What if it was by 4%?
Be 40 mils.
40 mills. What if it was 50 mills? 5%. Everybody got that? Who's lost on that? Because we're going to go over this several more times, guys, but you got to know how to do this. And how many people know about this? Nobody knows this stuff. What a mill is and everything else that the government, a lot of them don't know. So yeah, it's something that you can talk to your people about and get your foot in the door to be able to talk to them about something that they should know about. Okay, let's go to number 25. 25 is harder than any one we're going to have on the state exam, so I'm not going to worry about that one. That's C, by the way. Now, number 26 and 27 are what's called prorations. Tomorrow at this time, or not tomorrow, but Monday at this time, you're going to be knee-deep in prorations. And we're going to be starting closings. And we're not going to do these today. The answer to 26 is C, 27 is D. We did 28, how about 29? 29. Vacant lots are being appraised at $3.15 per square foot plus $30 per front foot. What would be the value of a 55 by 110 foot lot?
How do you know which is the front?
We'll talk about it in a second here. So let's get the total square footage of the lot. He sells a property with it being appraised at $350 per square foot. So we take the 55 times 110.
60, 50.
And then we have 6050 times the $3.15 per square foot. 3.15 times that, what's that come to? 19,057.50. Now they talk about something called a front foot. The front foot is always the first figure they give you. Maybe it fronts to a lake, and that gives it more value. Something like that. And so it's going to be $30 per front foot. So it's going to be 30 times 55.
So why isn't it 30 minus 315 times 55?
Because it isn't.
Okay.
So 1650 plus 19,057. And is there more than one way to get an equation? Sure. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it, Mark. You know,
No,
but if you get the same answer, that's cool. So, you know, and everybody, we're all individuals here, aren't we? And there's almost every equation has the 2 or 3 different ways of getting it. And the answer, of course, to 29 is B, boy. Now, who thinks they're a real math whiz? Mark, oh, you've been showing off all day.
I can do basic percentages.
Basic percentages. Who takes pride in being a math guy, math lady? Nobody? What's
Me,
that?
it's definitely not me. You guys
Well-
are picking on me.
I'm gonna pick on Mark. What is 25 times 25?
I always use a
It's
calculator.
525. What is 65 times 65? Is 4,225. What is 75 times 75? Is 5,825. How did I do that? You do it like this. And it has to be like this, where it's just the 5, 75 works, of course 15 works. It always ends in 25. And what goes in the front end is this top number plus 1, 2 times 3. What is 25 times 25? 625. 35 times 35, 25, 3 times 4 is 12, 1,225. 25, 4 times 5 is 20. 25, 6 times 7 is 42.
It's just that simple.
Isn't that cool? I say your kids are going to just be amazed when you go home tonight. Okay. You guys weren't impressed by that, I guess. Anyway, okay, let's keep
I'll go
going.
back and do the hand thing.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Now, number 30. If a broker sells a property where the commission rate is 5% of the first 500,000, 4% of the next 500,000, and 3% of any sales price over the first million, what would be the sales price of the property if the broker received $126,500 after paying another broker 45% of the total commission earned? You want to play with that yourself for a while? I don't think you do.
Is that one a hard one that'll be on the test, like on the state test?
We'll talk about it, but this one is a real tough one. Let's look at it. First thing we need to do is find out what he made for selling the first million. So on the first 500,000, he made 5%. On the first 500,000, what's that come to? %, would be that, what would that be? 25,000, right? 25,000. he made, on the next 500,000, he made 4%, which comes to 20,000. So what that means is he made $45,000 on the first $1 million that he sold. But that's not what he made. He made a lot more than that. And the rest he made at 3%. He paid another broker, and you almost have to get the old circle going to do this, one like this. He made $126,500. $126,500 after he paid another broker 45%. So this figure is 55%, isn't it? 45 from 100 is 55%. Top to bottom you divide. This will give us the total commission. 126,500 divided by 55%, $230,000 was the total commission. Now, we have to take out what he made on the first $1 million.
Are you rounding there?
No, that's on money, on the money.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Uh-huh.
So it's $230,000 minus $45,000. Isn't that what he made on the first $1 million? So 230,000 minus 45,000, what's that come to? 185,000. Get the old circle going again. So we made $185,000 at 3% commission. How much did he sell? Top to bottom we divide 3%. 185,000 divided by 3%. What's that come to? It comes to what? 6,166,667. $6,166,667. Are we done? Don't we have to throw that $1 million back in there? Didn't we take out the $1 million right here? So now we have to put the $1 million back in there. And the answer actually is 7,166,667. Now, this question is floating around out there. I haven't seen it for a few years, but they do have it as one of the math questions sometimes. Now, it's virtually word for word like this. So you can sit there and spend 2 hours trying to figure out that miserable equation right there, or just remember D. Okay, let's go to 32. You're going to have one like this on the state exam. Big smile when you see it. They're easy, easy. $32. Calculate the salesperson's commission if a salesperson receives a 4-to-3 split of the 7% total commission with the broker, and the salesperson's total sales reach $1,025,000 for the year. So, what we have to do is find out what the total commission is. So we did, he sold what? $1,025,000 at 7% commission. What's that come to? 71,750. And there are 7 parts. There's 4 parts and 3 parts. One's getting 4 parts, one's getting 3 parts, so there's 7 parts. We take that commission and we divide it by the parts to find out how much each part is worth. So we divide that by 7, which comes out to what?
10,250.
10,250. 10,250. We take that figure and we multiply it by the first figure they give us, times 4. So 10,250 times 4. And the answer, of course, is 41,000. And guys, we're going to do several of these before you're done with this course, because you're going to have one of these on the state exam. Big smile, you're going to nail it, you're going to have these down really well. And the secret to these is knowing how many parts there are. What if it was a 7-4 split? How many parts would we have? We'd have 11. What if it was a 5-3 split? It'd be 8. We divide it by the number of parts to find out how much each part is worth, multiply it by the first number, and we nail it. Okay, let's go to 33.
So in this particular example, the 4 and the 3 just happen to equal the percentage of the.
It just happened this way.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can take a shortcut on this one, don't do it. But anyway, that's the only one you can do is shortcut on. 33, B buys an income-producing property and the building's valued $120,000. If the building has an estimated 30-year life, what would be the first year's depreciation if B could write up double the straight line rate? Now, what happens in this one, this is for depreciation for tax purposes, not for the building itself. In 30 years, this building's going to be worth many times more than what it is now. But for tax purposes, it's depreciating. And so what we have to do is figure out what the depreciation is per year. And so we take 120,000 divided by 30. $120,000, and we divide that by 30 to get the depreciation per year. That comes out to what? 4,000 a year, right? 4,000. And they say, what would be the first year's depreciation if B could write off double that? Times 2, 8,000. This looks like a real tough one when you read it. When you see it on paper, it's really, really easy. So don't miss this one if you see it on the state exam. Okay, we did 34, we did 35.
Did we? We didn't do 35.
Okay, let's do 35. If a restaurant sold for $67,000, that's right, we made that one up, including a 50% profit, what did the seller pay for it? You're on your own.
C.
I heard C. And there it is on the board. He sold it for $67,000, which was a 50% profit. We don't know what he bought it for, but we know he bought it for 100%, and he sold it for a 50% profit. So this figure is what he paid for it initially, and that's 150%. Represented 150% profit when he sold it for $67,000. Whenever you're doing a circle like this, guys, and you're thinking, you're in the test, you're nervous, you're going, okay, first in time, second in time, how confusing. Notice that the larger number always goes on the bottom left. The only exception to that is when we're talking about appreciation, properties going up in value. Other than that, the larger number always goes on the lower left. That'll really help you with this circle. And I hope you like this circle. Get it down to where you can do this circle. It turns any type of equation where you have a percentage or a rate into a no-brainer. So,
So what number goes on top? Always.
The net amount is only.
well, again, what happens second in time goes on top.
Second.
Second in time, what happens first in time, our whole amount, the 100%, goes on the lower left. What happens second in time goes on top, and the percentage always goes on the lower right. Top to bottom, you divide, left to right, you multiply. Okay. Let's keep going here, guys. This, not quite, a little more brain damage to go, but we'll get out of here one of these days. As soon as you admit math is fun and easy. Okay, let's go to test number 2, this second part here. So those of you doing it on YouTube or on a disc, I don't break math into number 1 and number 2, it's just one big blob. Okay, so it just seems to work better that way. And as you're looking at this on YouTube or on a disc, take a break as you're going through these. Number 1, here we go, an appraiser. We know there's going to be a problem with this problem, okay? And it says an appraiser is analyzing a recent sale of an apartment. The sales price is $150,000 and the monthly gross, and it should be rent multiplier, is 84. What's the annual gross income? How do you do these? Do you remember?
Divide 84 by 12?
Do what now?
No.
No. You take the sales price divided by the multiplier. That's how simple these are, guys. 150,000 divided by 84. In this case, it's 1785.91. You want to know what the annual is, so you multiply it by 12. And the answer, of course, is B-boy. Let's go to number 31. Now this one they finally got right. An appraisal equation, oh shoot, I don't think I have it. Might get it back here. Nope, I don't have it. Anyway, this one is correct. How would you do this one? Why don't you read it?
If the annual gross multiplier is 8.5 and the value of the property is 310,250, the annual gross income is,
I'm sorry, what number?
What number?
31.
Oh, no, sorry.
And so what? You take the multiplier, right? You take the value divided by the multiplier. And what do you get?
438.
Okay. Let's go to number 2. And number 2 is a proration. Again, you're going to be an expert at those here real soon, but not today. The answer is A. Number 3. A townhouse. I don't want to do that one. Let's go number 4. Yeah, let's go number 4. A lot's 14 acres in size. The developer wants to build a house.
We're on 4 now, 4.
Number 4, guys, number 4, the number 2 there, M2-4. The developer wants to build a house for one half acre. He must also dedicate 22% of the total lot to the city for streets. Approximately how many homes can he build? So the easiest way to do this one, he's got what? He's dedicating 22% to the city for streets. So we can just take 28 times 0.78, and it comes out to about 21 lots. It comes out to 21 lots, about 22. But we can take 28 minus 22%, because you can build 2 homes per lot. per, two lots, two homes per half acre. So I mean, this one again, it's tricky,
Multiplying 14
but
by
just
2
do
makes
it the
half
easy way
lots.
first. Just do it the easy way first, and in this case, it worked. Let's go to number 22, one very similar to it.
So what was number 4's answer?
4, the answer is a B-boy. Let's go to number 22. A developer owns a 4.5 acre site. And do you have a dollar sign in there somewhere? Don't you?
Yeah, 71.
Yeah, okay. On the 71, down below, there should be no dollar sign on there. Acre site, which is to be converted to a residential subdivision. If you must dedicate 71,020 square feet for streets and parks to the city, how many 50 by 100 lots can he develop? I like this one. So what do you have to do? Figure out how much land we have to use altogether, how much land we have? How do we do that?
Multiplied 4.5 by 43
43,560.
Yeah.
Right.
for
And what-
196.
And what do you get?
196,020.
196,020. Everybody following that? 43,000, I'll put it up on the board. 43,560 times 4.5. And that equals 196.
4.5 or 41?
Well, it's supposed to say 4.5. There's
Oh.
no space.
Is it
Oh, I
4.5?
see.
Times 4.5. And then 196,20
Minus the square footage that you have to give away.
minus 71,020. And that gives us 125,000. The lots are 50 by 100.
1,000.
The lots are 5,000. So we have 125,000 divided by 5,000. And that gives us 25 lots. 25 lots can be built there. That's kind of like a long one, but just a matter of just kind of bearing with it. Now, the answer to this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kinda cool.
Do you know what it's called
Kinda
when that
cool.
happens?
What's that?
Do you know what it's called when that happens?
What's that?
I can't remember the name I was asking. There's a name for it though.
Okay, let's do this. Let's keep going here and look at how about number 5? We haven't done one of these for a while. Number 5. The frontage of a plot, I guess we're in a cemetery now. Frontage of a plot is 260 feet and the area is 3 acres. What is the approximate depth of the lot? See if you can figure it out. Three times 43,560, what's that come to?
130,680.
130,680. We know what one side is, it's 260. How do we figure out that side?
Divided into 260.
130,680 divided by 260,
502.
and we got it, 502.6, 502 works. Let's do another one like it, number 34. Number 34, guys. And for some reason, I do not have that last couple pages in. Somebody read 34.
A rectangular property with a 450-foot frontage and an area of 3 acres has a depth of.
Okay, so it's the same figure in the middle there, we just changed the bottom to 450, right? You gonna smile when you see one of these on the exam, guys? Anybody struggling with these now?
These ones
What's that?
no. These ones no.
These, good, you're probably gonna have one on the state exam. There's one of your 4 right there, okay?
So, but this is a tricky answer because you have 290.4 square feet and 290.
Isn't that something? Is it square feet or feet?
Square because there's 2 numbers.
No, it's feet. It's not square feet, it's just feet. Yeah, that's, guys, remember our number one saying here is what? One and done. You're gonna take that state exam one time and you're done. What's our second saying? Don't let the bastards win. And don't let them win. This proves it. And I'm on the committee that makes up these questions for the state exam, so I guess I'm one of the bastards. But again, when you're studying, you want to take the morning off, don't let them win. Grab that book and keep studying. Okay. Let's go to, I like this one. How about number 6? Number 6. There's a lot that's 80 feet by 130 feet. It has a setback requirement of 30 feet in the front, 10 feet on each side, and 40 feet in the back. What's the maximum size house which can be erected on the lot? Let's do this one together. So we have this lot here. And it's 80 feet by 130 feet. And we have setbacks, 10 feet on the sides. We have 40 feet in the back. Everybody understand what a setback is? You can't build within those setbacks. And so they're saying, how big a house can we put in the middle there? And it should be a ranch-style house, of course. Let's do the sides first. We have 10 feet on one side and 10 feet on the other side. That's 20 feet. Which one do we subtract that from?
The 80.
Who thinks we subtracted from the 130? Who thinks we subtracted from the 80? And the rest of you don't give a damn. We need participation. Okay, one more time. Who thinks we subtracted from the 80?
Subtract what?
The 2 tens. The 2 tens, right? The 10 plus 10 and 20. And of course, we're bringing it in. So we subtracted from the 80. So it's 60. Then we have 40 and 30, which is 70, which we subtract from the 130. So how big a ranch-style home can we build in there? 3,600.
Monster.
Not a bad sized home. So,
10 and 10 is the 20, 20 minus the 80 is the 60, and that's, trying to get it.
yeah, everybody understand what setbacks are. You know, you can't build right on the lot lines. You have to build in a little bit. What if you do build within these sections here? What's that called? An encroachment. An encroachment is what? An encumbrance. What's the definition of an encumbrance? Let's write it down if you don't know it. An encumbrance is anything that limits our use, title, interest, or value An encumbrance is anything that limits our use, title interest, or value. Anything that limits our use, title interest, or value. What type,
Somebody has to test.
listen to that, listen for the bell.
So if you were to build within that, it's just gonna affect your value and,
It's- It very well could. It could put a cloud on your title, or at least color your title. It could be an issue. It could be an issue that could keep you from selling your property. And you might have to get a variance to get that corrected, or else tear that whole fence down and start over, or whatever. Or maybe there's a building over there. A lot of times eaves on a house will encroach on that property line. And that causes a real problem. How about a tree? I have my neighbor's tree and it's going over my fence. Is that an encroachment?
yeah.
It really isn't. It really isn't. Can I go up, I can go out and chop that tree down right even with that fence if I want to. But if I kill the tree, I could have a liability
I
issue.
hope so.
Yeah.
What happened? Do you have that happen?
Oh, you can.
You did it?
I did it.
Oh, I knew you. I wasn't worried about you. Man, fantastic.
Yep. So I did fail the national the first time, but I retook it 2 days later, and I did like almost 20% better than the first time.
Wow, fantastic. Congratulations. There's that smile, guys. There's that smile.
Yep.
Good job.
Yes.
That's exciting.
Do you have the picture before you went in?
Yeah, I do. I was very nervous.
Nobody ever smiles in that picture. Hold it up, can you mind? You're so beautiful, it doesn't matter what you look like anyway.
Well, here, I'll let you see it then.
Okay. Oh, you got kind of a smile.
Yeah, nervous smile.
Nervous
Nervous
smile.
smile.
Yeah.
So what'd you get on it?
I got an 82 on the state,
Wow,
and then I got an 81 on the national.
good as 100.
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Good job.
Man, that's wonderful. Well,
Well, I would just say, like, the PSI book helped me a lot, especially, after, for the national. And after the first time I took it, I reviewed the PSI more than I had ever dipped into it, and that really helped me. And just, the dummies book, of course, between the two, don't get you there. And that PSI really, really helped me though. Just like highlighting things in it, and the wording just helped me out. Because the wording is what really got me the first time.
oh man.
Like I started reading the questions and just instantly started panicking because I wasn't recognizing anything or like feeling like I knew it, and I like went in with so much confidence, and then I was like slapped in the face like nope. So I was just getting super nervous, and I ran out of time, and so
Wow.
I was like
The first
reading
time?
the questions too much. Yeah, I ran out of time. I had to guess on 6 questions and leave 4 blank, and I still got a 63 doing that. So
Oh,
then
man.
I was pretty confident going in the second time, just making sure I didn't spend my time on questions too long.
You never have to take that miserable thing again.
I
Ever.
know. The weight
Ever.
of the world is lifted off my shoulders. So, but
Well, congratulations. Who are you gonna go with? You know?
great way.
That's fantastic, fantastic. Good friends of mine.
Yep.
Anyway.
I start training tomorrow, so
Good, good, good. Well, don't be a stranger. Hang on.
Yeah,
I'll
don't,
definitely be around.
don't be a stranger, Madison.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure he's doing good in class.
If she
so I'll be
passes,
around.
that means that I'm guaranteed to pass, so.
Not quite.
Or else
I don't
she's
know.
not gonna let up on me.
See, at this
so.
point, Ryan thinks he's the smartest person on earth.
Oh, yeah.
Because halfway through this course, you're just totally lost. You know, remember I told you that, so.
Definitely, don't get overwhelmed if you're lost right now, because it took me like the last week of school to actually be like, okay, I'm getting this, like fully, like of course study and try to know your stuff, but like I was confused for the first few weeks, so don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Well, fantastic. Give her a hand, guys. That's a lot of work. A lot of work.
Well, thank you,
Thanks for
everybody,
coming in,
and
Madison. That's great. Thank you.
Thank
So-
you.
Oops.
Okay, guys, we do have a presenter today, so I'll see you when he gets done.
I got a math problem for you, Jim, real fast.
What you got?
On your screen, I put down.
Okay?
What are you gonna pull, Ken? What are you gonna pull?
What you
All
got?
right, see, three men go to a hotel to rent a room.
Okay,
Clerk says that'll be $30.
Oh, this one.
So write that, $30.
okay,
3 times 10.
okay. 3 times 10
They go
too?
to their room, the clerk goes, oh my God, I overcharged them $5. Gives the bellboy $5 and says, go give the 3 men the $5. So they pay $10, so write that down, write 10.
Okay,
Bellboy goes, shit, 3, 5 into 3, it ain't gonna work. I'll give them each $1 and I'll keep 2, they're 10. So subtract 1
from what? The
from
10?
They get $1 back,
Subtract 1,
yep, each get $1 back.
so $9 or what?
Yeah, they each paid 9. The bellboy kept 2,
Okay,
so 9 times 3 is 27.
okay.
And the bellboy gets 2, yeah, 2.
29, okay.
Where's the other $1?
I don't know.
That's a fun one.
What happened to it, you know? What?
It's just, it's there, it's just the way it's worded. It's just the way you work into it. It's all there. If you add backwards, it's all there.
That's interesting.
Isn't that cute?
Okay, guys, see you in a little bit here.
All right.
Ken, don't stand up.
What?
Don't stand up.
Oh, God, I gotta stretch.
No question.
So what happens when we have a presenter?